as as a realtor that works in a predominantly veteran area. So that means I deal a lot with VA loans. And with that, sometimes there's a misconception on closing costs versus down payment. And so I don't consider it a hidden cost or fee, but it is something sometimes people are not always expecting. And so that's why it's number one here. If you are a veteran, you do not have a down payment. So thank you so much for your service. You don't have a down payment, which does automatically save you thousands of dollars, and that's amazing, but you are still responsible for your closing costs. And I do see that that comes up quite often with people not realizing that there is a separation between the two and that buyers are still responsible for it. Now, sometimes depending on the market, if it's a buyer's market, seller's market, or, just somewhere in between, a lot of times we can get things negotiated in, but please know it is not automatic and not all sellers have the equity to do it or just want to do it, because I've run into both. Sometimes sellers just don't want to. They want to make as much as they can and go do whatever they need to do, or they don't have the equity to do it. And I also like to make sure people always kind of keep in mind, this is a small caveat, make sure you just always keep in mind that one day you're going to be on the opposite end of that table receiving an offer. So just be mindful. Now, as an agent, I'm always going to be advocating very well for my clients and showing them the perspective from both sides, seeing, okay, how can we make this work for everyone so we can get to the closing table, because ultimately that is the goal. But I do like to make sure people do realize closing costs are not automatically going to be paid by another party. So knowing your finances is something that we always kind of discuss. Of course, always shared with your lender as well, because they're going to be in that side a lot more than I am.